Van Beveren leads the Dakar for the first time since 2018.
I had 2 really tough years with accidents. Today will do me a lot of good. Here's Van den Heuvel from Team Dakar Speed. He's bringing a lot of speed into this bumpy section too. Oh, too much speed!
Well, we flipped over and it's the end of Dakar again.
Welcome to Dakar 2022. The competitors head south for more drama and even more unbelievable landscapes.
Between the liaison and the special, there are over 800 kilometres to cover today from Al Tawatimi to Wadi Tawasir, including 395 against the clock. A very long day in prospect then, with lots of sand and some difficult navigation between the canyons. "129 starters today, but Ross Branch threw in the towel after his stage 6 crash. Mason Klein would love to imitate the Yamaha man and make the jump from privateer to factory rider.
Yesterday I decided to let the big dogs do the work. Did a lot of following yesterday and didn't quite pay off, but another learning experience for sure.
Matthias Wagner and Sam Sunderland both lost time yesterday, but they had plenty of tracks to follow as they set off 24th and 28th respectively.
Starting on the back is always better. It's quite a long stage. I think it's also some dunes and a lot of sand. So I try to make some time good, but yesterday was not my best day.
Starting a bit further back in the field after a really rough day yesterday. Today's another day, so we'll give my best and hopefully can recuperate a bit of time again.
Well, this was the man they had in their sights, the overall leader, Adrian van Beveren. There were dunes galore for the first 200 kilometres, and here was Nacho Cornejo doing a brilliant job of navigating between them. The Chilean opened up after his win yesterday, and he didn't make a mistake until kilometre 3:33. That cost the lead group around 12 minutes and leaves Nacho just outside the top 10. Kevin Benavides set off second, and he was full of praise for Cornejo's efforts. The Argentine had some issues with his fuel tank. He had to stop twice to transfer gas from the front to the rear. He then went full gas at the end, remaining within 15 minutes of the overall lead. Joan Barreda was riding with Cornejo when they missed that late waypoint, turning what could have been a great day for the Honda pair into an okay one. Bang Bang got a little banged up in the dunes early on. The low morning sun didn't help, but he remains a few seconds ahead of Benavides in 5th place overall. Well, Barreda wasn't the only man to crash. Harid Gabari getting into a spot of bother there. But if you can stomach the soft sand, it is dreamy dancing over these dunes. Xavier de Sultre is at home in this terrain, even if he is maybe a little lower down the standings than he'd like. The Frenchman's career best was 7th overall in 2019, and he's currently 16th. As he explains, he's not quite able to keep up with the top factory guys. Well, a couple of friends charged up very quickly from behind, Adrian Van Beveren and Quintanilla. I did try to stay with them, and usually I can follow, but not this time. I couldn't stay with the Quintanilla Express. Well, Van Beveren ended up having quite the adventure when the button on his roadbook tower broke. That meant that he had to scroll through the notes with one hand, using the other to speed that Yamaha through the desert. Well, the Dakar is all about dealing with adversity, and Van Beveren passed today's test with flying colours. Only 10 minutes dropped in the end, and he stays within 5 minutes of the rally lead. That's part of the Dakar. If it's my only problem, I'll be very happy. Just a roadbook button on one day. The mechanics will sort that out. It was still a positive day. I did the best I could. I've got no regrets. Mason Klein said that he had an awesome day, even if he too suffered a few of the slings and arrows of outrageous Dakar fortune. He didn't crash, but his handguard broke and he swiped a few trees. His airbag vest also went off at one point, but he was still smiling at the finish line, and rightly so. 5th on the stage, 10th overall. Klein's fellow American Ricky Brabeck knows that this whole week is going to be tough. He still has a 40-minute deficit to the rally lead in spite of coming 4th on the stage today. The California native spent most of the day on his own, which is more mentally taxing than being part of a group, but he was still pretty satisfied with the performance. Brabeck's teammate Pablo was also flying solo, but as de Sultre explained, the Quintanilla Express doesn't hang around for anyone. It was an excellent outing from the Chilean. He took off in 12th place and thundered his way through this stage like a high-speed train. Quintanilla second fastest, and he's right up there in his quest for a first Dakar title. I've recovered some of the 15 minutes I lost after a mistake in the first week, and I'm very close to the leader, around 5 minutes. This rally's super quick, and it's going to stay that way until the end, for sure.
Va a seguir así hasta el último día de seguro.
Matthias Wagner knew this was a key day to push and recover some of the time he lost yesterday, and the Austrian did exactly that. He was happy with his riding as he swept to 3rd place around 4 minutes off the scratch time. The 2018 winner says it's going to be up and down between now and Jeddah. But the stage win never looked like getting away from Sam Sunderland. The 2017 winner worked his way through the back markers and set the fastest time at every single checkpoint, eventually beating Quintanilla by almost 3 minutes. Sunderland goes back to the top of the standings, 3 minutes 45 clear of Wagner, but of course his reward is setting off first tomorrow morning.
It looks like the race is really close this year, and it's cool for everybody at home watching. Difficult for us as riders, a little bit like an emotional roller coaster, but with the glory of winning, you have the punishment the next day to open the stage, but it's the same for anybody, and in the same time, if you want to win the race, you need to win some stages, I guess.
For sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Toby Price and Luciano Benavides also made the top 7 today, although both riders are some way down overall. Top rookie Klein in the top 6 for the 5th time at this rally. There were just 5.5 minutes separating the top 4 from 4 different factory teams: Sunderland, Wagner, Van Beveren and Quintanilla.
Alexandre Geroux, the man to catch in the quads. The Frenchman has been forced to abandon in the 2 previous Saudi editions. The overall leader wants to win, but getting to the finish line is the priority. Before the quad squad could start Special 8, another competitor bit the dust. 20 started the adventure, only 11 remain. A fine first week in Saudi Arabia for Alexander Maximov with 2 stage wins secured, yet his Dakar debut ended on the liaison due to a mechanical problem. That promoted Kamil Wisniewski to 3rd overall before the special even began, 5th in 2020, 4th last year, and the pole finally step up onto the overall podium. After a 3rd place finish a year ago, Pablo Capetti well placed to better that achievement, but in the Dakar Legends bid for a first quad title, the Delamo rider lost more time. Marcelo Medeiros led out after his 2nd ever special win, but first in Saudi Arabia, more than 22 hours off top spot, Brazilian fighting for stage glory. But Geroux timed his move to perfection at the final checkpoint to claim a 2nd Dakar 2022 win, 4 stages and just under 2,400 kilometers between him and the title. Well, it's true that everything is going well. I know the Dakar is long, so I have to manage the race and stay in the fight. Look after myself and the quad. So far, it's working out well. Geroux dominant, a 2nd successive podium for Medeiros, Capetti 3rd, but left frustrated. That's because the Dakar legend has ceded more time, with 30 minutes in hand, quad control to Major Geroux.
Safety is essential on the Dakar. It concerns the cars, bikes and trucks of course, but also what each competitor has to wear.
Yeah, so in the cars we have a lot of safety equipment that we have to wear, as well as all the equipment in the car itself. So to start with, we have this triple layer fire resistant race suit that we have to wear. Underneath we also have this Nomex long shirt. We will have long pants and socks, all of this material underneath, and then the race boots as well, which are also with a flame resistant material. We then, to cover the hands, also for driving, for grip, it's good to have gloves, but this is also made of some special flame resistant material as well for safety. Under the helmet, a balaclava. This balaclava is also made of the same material that our shirts and pants and socks are made from, so it's a Nomex fire resistant material. Then over the top of that we have the helmet. So there's, some people wear an open face with goggles or a full face like this. So yeah, again, protection for fire, but also just in general. And then we also wear this, which is a head and neck restraint. The aim of this is this goes around like a bit of a brace, and then these straps here then connect to these points on the helmet. And then once you have your seatbelt on and all locked into place, what this basically does is it only allows your head to move a certain amount forward and a certain amount to the side. So it's to help protect you from whiplash or any neck injuries if you have a really sudden stop. So yeah, this has been mandatory in motorsport for quite a while now, and it's saved many lives. So it's a really important device that we wear. So yeah, that's obviously a really important part of motorsport, is to make sure we have all the right equipment. All looks pretty cool as well.
The start of stage 8 for the cars. The gladiators are about to step onto the sand of today's arena. Some seem more relaxed before the fight than others. With a still healthy lead, but knowing Sebastian Loeb is super fast, Alatir and Baumel need a strategy. Starting 3 minutes behind their charging rivals. Today we need to stay behind them, and if we catch them, hang on to them and not let go. But Nasser seems pensive. This is a stage that is notoriously atrocious. The first major victim of stage 8 is Oscar Fuertes. Debris and bodywork are strewn along the ridge. The SMC Motorsport Astara 01 concept has clearly taken a tumble down the dune, and it looks like the Spanish driver's fourth Dakar will end in a long wait for the assistance truck. Running 14th overall coming into stage 8, Corsican driver Michael Pisano, who has 5 Dakar entries on a bike, converted to cars for the 2019 edition and finished 27th in Saudi Arabia last year. Driving the MD Rally Sport Optimus buggy, 22nd quickest on the stage today, and 14th overall. Mathieu Serradori had overheating problems in his Century buggy yesterday and was forced to back off to save the engine. No backing off today though. Having had his regular co-driver Fabien Lercan poached by Sebastian Loeb, Serradori has Loic Minaudier beside him. And it's clearly a partnership that started strongly. They won the Kazakhstan rally last year together. 7th quickest on the stage today moves them into the top 10. Kuba Pszegonski has been efficiently going about his business on this Dakar. A couple of ups and downs so far, but the Polish 36-year-old with very experienced co-driver Timo Gottschalk have steered the Orlen Mini buggy into an impressive 4th overall. And that, come the finish, would match his best ever result. And so to our rally leaders. The best laid plans didn't quite work for Nasser and Mathieu. Loeb was flying, so they didn't catch him. And then a puncture, which they stopped to change. Now the wheel change is always a race against time, normally done in less than 2 minutes, but every second counts for the Toyota crew at this stage. And then for the rest of the special, it seems that Alatir is not on the pace. A transmission problem it looks like, meaning it's only 11th quickest stage time, 10 minutes off the pace.
350 kilometer, we have one puncture and then we have only front wheel drive because we broke the rear and I was really scared all the way, you know. But the last part I said I don't care, you know, the last 50 kilometer I will try to push a little bit. But it was not easy, you know, because with the front wheel and but okay, I'm really lucky to be here, you know, and we lose only 7 minutes from Seb.
That could come back to bite. Now there were several points along the stage where it was looking very much like it could be an Audi 123 and Carlos Sainz clearly pushing. Don't forget, this Audi RSQ e-tron is a brand new concept, electric powertrain charged by an onboard engine, and the whole project has gone from drawing board to spectacularly surfing these dunes in a matter of months. At the finish, Sainz is 4th quickest, but only 3 seconds behind his old WRC teammate and rival Sebastian Loeb. Now on paper, historically we know Loeb can be the quickest driver out there in this class, yet he needs to finish and he needs his maiden Dakar win. That was a right rear puncture on the Bahrain Raid Extreme Pro Drive Hunter. The Alsatian and the Belgian stopped to change the wheel. Efficiently done. And back out on maximum attack. But look closely. Is there something missing from the left-hand side of the car under that bodywork? We attacked flat out the whole stage. Fab did a superb job navigating. We didn't miss a single waypoint, no errors.
We went well, good rhythm. At kilometre 20 we had a puncture. We quickly changed the wheel, losing less than 2 minutes I think. Then we carried on flat out. But when we hit the neutralisation zone we realised we'd lost the spare wheel. So 250k without a spare, without being able to make an error. So I was very careful over the stones. I didn't want to take the risk of another puncture. I knew that we were on target for a good time, so I didn't want to throw that away, so we preferred to play it a bit cool towards the finish. But even so, I think the story ended well. Now, will that lost wheel come back to haunt Loeb? The stewards will be investigating if a penalty needs to be applied as we speak. Stefan Petter-Hansel, after technically retiring on stage 4, was running in 68th coming into stage 8. But on the rest day, he stated his ambition was to get stage wins. And he looked on target to get one today. And even when he slowed down to offer teammate Sainz help, this time, Mr. Dakar was waved on. The 14-time and reigning Dakar champ looked on target to deliver a second stage victory for Audi this year. But he didn't count on Matthias Ekstrom keeping up with his vastly more experienced teammate and beating into the scratch time by only 49 seconds. With co-driver Emil Bergqvist alongside him, the two made their Dakar debut together in the T3 class last year. Matthias was quick today, trading faster split times with Petter-Hansel, apart from one section when the Audi was caught in Yazid Al-Raji's dust trail. But once he cleared the Toyota, Eki floored it to the finish and set an unbeatable time.
It's always great when you have success. I mean, we are all fighting to have a good result. For Emil and for myself, we feel like the rookies here and learning every day and trying to manage the risk. And it's so many kilometers where you can have a mistake. And today I'm happy because we didn't do any, maybe too conservative, but it's still many days to go.
A major breakthrough for Ekstrom and 3 Audis in the top 4. Close gaps too, less than 50 seconds between first and second, 3 seconds separating third and fourth. In 2 days, Loeb has taken nearly 13 minutes out of Alatia's lead. With 4 stages left, the chase is on.
Many Dakar regulars were set for a rude awakening when the rally switched from Africa to South America, where they suddenly found themselves facing enormous dunes. Some of these colossal climbs were much harder than many competitors were expecting.
Basically, we're in a very large basin. It's beautiful, it's magnificent, but we can't get out. We've tried to go up every side and we can't get out, and we're still a long way from the top.
It didn't matter if you were driving a 10-ton factory truck or a standard rally bike. Dakar vehicles of all shapes and sizes found themselves stranded at the foot of the impossible climb.
What are we going to do? How are we going to get up there? I can't climb it.
Well, meanwhile, the rescue operations didn't always go smoothly.
You make a long rope, and then the 2 trucks who are there, they have to pull. I don't know if it works, but we have to try it. The top is too high for the trucks. It's 10 ton each.
The closing darkness was set to make things even more difficult.
It's too risky at night. It's not a good idea. Look at him, over there. It's sad, but unfortunately we can't get out. We've been here since 10 o'clock this morning, from 10 a.m. until 7 p.m. and we can't get out.
The riders and drivers still trapped in the dunes got what rest they could before finally getting out or being rescued. But many competitors who came to South America between 2009 and 2019 found exactly what they were looking for, a real sense of adventure and accomplishment. And if you could master these mighty dunes, the reward was quite spectacular.